Hello, happy Thursday. Today's video is inspired by a few sessions I've had earlier today. And it's kind of like a hodgepodge of different things that as I was talking in session, I was like, I should do a video on this. Oh, I should do a video on this. I have that happen all the time. And then I finish with a client or I finish work and I'm like, what was that thing I was going to do a video on? I wanted to say something I said I felt like would have been a good topic. And then I completely forget. So I'm going to be a little scattered here as I don't write anything down, and I should have, but I'm going to try to remember. First thing I want to say is recovery is hard. Recovery is hard. If you're in it, you know that, right? You've heard me say that many times. And I also have said that recovery is simple. Like, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated, but it is hard. And I want to give you some credit if you're struggling in recovery, but you're still going. You're not perfect, but every day you get up with a new resolve to make changes, and you make those changes, but you're not perfect at it. And then you reevaluate and you recommit the next day to fix those changes, and you do that. And then you notice other things crop up and you work on that and you overcome those problems and you just keep going, right? That's recovery. And it's easy to feel like, what am I doing wrong? How come I'm not doing this faster? How come this isn't clicking? And I have to remind you that recovery is the number of people with eating disorders who are actually have eating disorders who fully recover and learn how to live in an unsuppressed body and learn how to accept that body. They don't have to love it, but they learn to accept it and they learn to live a fulfilling life without their eating disorder are very, very, very few people, like definitely the minority. So if you're watching these videos and you're striving for full recovery, first of all, know that you're the minority. Very few people will feel like they have it in them to do it. But I'm here to tell you that, again, if you're listening to this video and you want to recover, you have it in you. You have everything you need to be able to recover. Recovery doesn't have to cost money other than obviously the expense of buying food. You can absolutely do this with the support of a whole host of people. You can do this with the support of one person. I've seen people do this with no support, right? And for them, they're reaching out on social media, right? They don't have the means for coaching or any kind of professional services, and they're reaching out and they're getting or making connections online with different people going through similar things, which is awesome. That's one thing I do think social media is amazing for. But you have to understand, like, you're pursuing something that the minority of people accomplish. And it's not because it's like very few people can recover. That's not it. I believe anyone who chooses that they want to recover can. It's very few people are brave enough, determined enough, and see it to the end, right? They start recovery and they don't chicken out. Or if they do, they get back up. They fall down, they get back up. They fall down, they get back up. So there's a minority of people who will reach that point. And I, as a coach, like, my job is to help you to understand that no matter what you've been through, no matter where you are now, no matter how little confidence you have in yourself to be able to recover, I have 100% confidence that you can. I really, really mean that. I really believe that anyone can recover. It's never too late. Okay? No matter how many times you've failed, no matter how many times you've given up or stopped too early or chickened out or made a stupid decision you knew you shouldn't have done. All those things. Forgive yourself for them and make the changes and keep going and recommit. So that's the first thing. And those of you who will fully recover, I hope that you will share your story. That was another thing I wanted to talk about. Those of you who do fully recover, I hope that you will share your story with other people who are struggling. And as you do share your story, people you didn't even know struggled will start opening up to you as well. And regardless of what you choose to do with your life after you recover, most people don't choose to go on to coaching, but it just living your life and talking openly and not being ashamed of your history and your past. You'll be amazed at how many people you connect with and who you can talk to and help also be able to recover, right? A lot of people have no idea that eating unrestrictedly and fully resting is even an option. I didn't know until right before I decided to go into recovery. I did not know that that was even a thing. I certainly didn't know 20-something years ago that this was even an option. So be grateful that at least you have the education, at least you have the knowledge of this approach, and you get to actively pursue full recovery, not just living in remission or kind of having an eating disorder, you know, that you white knuckle every day, but you're still functioning. So there's that. The other thing that I was discussing with a client earlier was, let's see. Oh yeah. So she's a college age student, and she was talking about how it's hard to have friends that are always talking about the gym and their workouts and how they're eating so healthy and all these things and how hard that is. And as she was talking about this, it dawned on me that earlier this morning, I was talking with one of my sisters for like, I think it was over an hour conversation. It was a good heart to heart. But the whole time that I was talking to her, she was out on a run. She was out on a run, and I was sitting on the couch. And it didn't even like she was like, I'm about to head out for a run. Do you care if we talk while I run? I was like, yeah, sure. It sounds good. Killing two birds with one stone. Wonderful. I didn't have any kind of inclination like, oh my gosh, why am I sitting? I should get up and run. I didn't run. I'm not running. Why aren't I doing anything? None of that. I did not have any of that. She was huffing and puffing while we were talking, and sometimes it was kind of hard to understand her, but she repeated herself and it was fine. It was a great conversation. Actually, it was a wonderful conversation. The eating disorder didn't get in the way of that. I didn't have any issues or problems listening to someone exercise while we talked while I sat on the couch. That right there is proof that rewiring works. If that isn't rewiring, I don't know what is, because there's not a day in this life before recovery that I thought that I could have ever even heard someone say that they ran, seeing someone run, let alone talking to someone while they're running, have it not affect or bring up any kind of emotions whatsoever. So I tell you this to give you hope. No matter how sick you are, no matter how much you're struggling to let go of obsessions or break food rules or run into challenges or whatever it is, no matter how hard it feels, you can do it. And there is a payoff at the end. Like, your brain will change. So long as you're alive, your brain is neuroplastic. It can learn to behave and think and do differently. Okay? So that's my, like I said, I started this video not really knowing exactly a theme of this video, but those were some things that came up today that I felt like sharing. So take with it whatever's going to be helpful for you and leave the rest, and have a good day. Bye.